Hello, we're live. Yay. I'm doing the 5,000 subscriber prize draw today. So, welcome. I'm just making a little banner. There we go. 5,000 subscriber prize draw. So we reached 5,000 subscribers just the end of 2021, and I've done a prize draw. So, let's touch the microphone. I want to say thank you for subscribing, and thank you to the people who have entered the prize draw. So what you're going to win, what you can win in the prize draw is giving away 3 tickets to one of my courses that I'm doing, and this course starts next Sunday. There's 2 options for people in the UK or the US to join into that, and this is about self-care with the 5 elements. So I've put that in the link. I've put the link to the course in the description of this video, so hopefully it should show up there somewhere. And so you can jump on and check out some of my new courses. I'd love you to, if you don't win the prize draw and you'd like to know more about the course, then you can jump onto that page and you can find out more about it. And this is a way of learning Chinese medicine in a self-care way. And I've got a full 1-year program that takes you through all of the various aspects of self-care and self-help. So welcome everyone to the stream, and without further ado, we're going to draw the prize. So I don't want to do this live on a video. I know that it's probably not the greatest time slot for a live, because most of my people are in the US and they're probably in maybe, I don't know, in bed now or something like that. But I'm going to do this prize draw. So this is for the first person. So I'm not going to read out people's full details, just going to say the first name, and the people who are the winners will get a notification on their email. They'll get an email. So let's do the first one. And look, we can do some Q&A if people want to do that. I won't be able to stay on this stream too long today, but this is the first one. Dun, 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 dun. So exciting, we've got a winner. All right. I won't sing my crazy song to you. Jody from Australia is a winner. Now, you may not be from Australia because this Jody from Australia, Australia, if you use a VPN, you may have picked up somewhere else. So you'll be getting an email. Thanks you've won one of the prizes. Yeah. So I hope you're doing well. Maybe I'll tell you a bit about the course. So what you're going to learn is yin and yang, the concepts of the 5 elements, and so the different sequences of the 5 elements, understanding how that relates to thinking about your body when it gets out of disharmony with the environment, so how we can get it back into harmony. And then thinking about the different organ functions, organ systems, the Zhang Fu systems. So things like your spleen and stomach belong to the earth element. Now, what does the earth element do? And what do the spleen and the stomach do, like separately or together? Like your wood element relates to liver and gallbladder. Your water element relates to kidney and bladder. So some of these things are overall elemental functions, let's say, and some of these things relate more to the yin or the yang aspect of those organs. And then we're going to be talking about how you can identify when those things are going out of balance before illnesses even happen. So this is before you're sick, right? When you just feel not so great, or you might just feel a bit tired, or you might have a bit of a headache, or your bowels might change. So that's kind of what we'll be doing. So yeah, let's draw the second person. So exciting. So I've decided to do this as a live stream so that people know it's not rigged or anything strange. This is Oscar from Europe. Oscar. Oh, what a cool name. Awesome. Sounds good. And we've got one more. Hello. JLFC Fire. That's a great name. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great night or a day or afternoon. And then we've got the last person on the prize draw. I might just put the lid on and give it a bit of a shake so that we make sure everyone's kind of shaken up. So the first winner was Jody, and the second winner, Oscar. And you won. Awesome. Did you? You don't need to identify yourself. Did you really? I mean, only you'll know because you'll get an email. I'm not going to read out people's emails on the stream, but that's good. I'm glad. I hope you did win. Thank you. All right, because it could be obviously different people with the same name, although some of these names. Oh wow, drawn out myself because I joined the email list as well, so I could test it out. I won't give myself the prize. That's a bit mean. I will give the prize out, even though I'll be there. All right, let's draw. So that was a good one. All right, so we've got Filippo from Europe or Rome. That's such an exotic place. It may not be. See, that counts. I won. So if you're one of these winners, you'll get an email. If you've entered the prize draw, your email will be here, and you'll get an email from me to notify you. So I hope you're doing well and having a good day, a good week. And the courses are starting soon. So this is a way that you can start your journey of self-help to learn about Chinese medicine. And there's 5 or 6 different courses that I've got running. Some are as short as a 1 session. It's a 3-hour session, and some are as long as a whole year. So you can choose, and there's lots of different points in between that. So I would love you to join me on the course, and I'd love to be your teacher and to help you on your journey of self-help and empowerment through Chinese medicine. So I've got a few more videos to make this week for people, some answers to questions. I'm going to be doing a video on the aspects of the general aspects of diet health, and I'm going to be that was to answer a subscriber's question, and I'm going to be doing a video on someone asked me today on Instagram something about what's the classical Chinese medicine view of depression. That's a great question, and we can talk about that. I hope that's a joke. JCFC fire MC. What meals of dosage of this snake oil should I consume? Yeah. So that's why we can't do individual people's advice, because it can be very snake oil like if you don't see a practitioner. So there's some things where you can help yourself, and we can talk about how Chinese medicine understands your body, and that's what I focus on this channel doing. So that if you're seeing a practitioner and you're taking herbs, let's say, and I was talking about this on the course this morning because this is morning for me now, that one of the ways that self-help can be very useful is to actually back up what you're already doing with your practitioner. So your practitioner might be doing, something with you, a treatment with you, and, then you can kind of support that doing that. So yeah. All right. So I think I'll probably go. If there's a few people that have jumped on the stream now, if anyone wants to ask a question, I'll give you a couple of seconds to ask if you want. Otherwise, we're just going to shut it down. I guess we've done the prize draw. So the people who've won the prize are Oscar, Jody, and Filippo. So I've drawn them out of this prize draw thing. Thank you so much for subscribing. And a lot of people already won a prize by getting a free copy of a book chapter from a book that I'm writing. So if you entered, you would have already gotten that. I hope that you've enjoyed that so far. And I look forward to seeing you on another video soon. And oh, good, I do. Awesome. Oh, I asked the question there. Oh, you do have a question. I think that's what that was asking. So I'll wait. It takes time. The question asking takes time. Okay. Oh, yes, it's good. I like it. I think it's great. I kind of discovered the Wim Hof breathing maybe through a podcast. I was watching Russell Brand or someone, and he was on the podcast with them, and he was showing how to do it. And it was probably around the time of the start of 2020. I don't know why I hadn't heard of Wim Hof before that. I can't say I haven't heard of him. I had heard of it, but I wasn't aware of what it was. I just had heard his name. And one of my friends from Chinese medicine has actually gone over to wherever he lives, Iceland or something, and did his whole thing and did the trekking in the mountains and all that. And I was like, I stayed at her house and she has cold showers all the time. And I was like, oh, I could never do that. And I didn't know anything about the Wim Hof stuff. And she's like, oh, I love my cold showers. And I'm just like, no, I love my warm showers. So last year I started doing some of that. And look, I'll be honest, I don't do it all the time now. I probably should get back into it. But it's amazing. It's an amazing technique. And I think what he's done to provide something so, look, it's got so much high utility, and he's broken it down and made it so easy that anyone can do it. It's a massive public service to the world, what he's done, because he's made these YouTube videos that are so useful for people to do. Like there's such high utility in there, right? Which means they can just do it. Literally watch a 5-minute video and be doing the exercise straight away without, any hoo-ha about it. So am I woke? The saying, go woke, go broke. No, I don't think I'm woke. I don't really want to polarize people off this channel or anything like that. I'm trying to keep it away from politics, but I wouldn't consider myself a woke person. I would consider myself a normal person, a real person, a down-to-earth person. I'm pragmatic. I will do what works, and I'm very inclusive of people. I'm very embracive of people. And I think maybe that's what woke people hope they would be, but they seem to not be that. Right. I think you have to be inclusive of people, right? So I don't really care what people believe in those political spaces. Believe what you want and follow who you want to follow, but let's all be friends in some way. I think I have friends who I follow on Facebook who they have direct conflicting ideas to what I believe. And when I read their posts, I feel like, oh, but I don't delete those people off my page or hide them or anything like that, because I think it's important in society, especially as a person who's a practitioner, you need to know what other people are thinking and feeling, because people do things for reasons. And I think it's a very dangerous place to surround yourself with everyone who thinks the same way as you. I would hate to be like that. You need challenge, right? Now, I enjoy watching. I really like Russell Brand. I love his ideologies. I love his ideas. I'm not saying I agree with everything he says and everything, but we do need a change for the world. We do need something better. The microdosing of the psilocybin, yes. I think that's a great idea. And I don't know why, I'm going to come back to your question, Crystal. I don't know why. Is he trolling? Is that a trolling thing? I'm so naive. I wouldn't know. I'm just answering people's question. I don't know. I would assume that he is asking you legitimately. Are you? I'm assuming you are. Anyway, let's answer. Let's talk about Chinese medicine. Are there any places you recommend for TCM study? Depending on what state you are in. Yeah, see, I'm a bit naive in that way. I just assume everyone's here for the betterment of society. Which is probably a nice way to think about things. And I try not to read comments straight away, because I've realized that you don't just read the comment. The first time you read the comment, don't make that the time you read it in the live. It's not the greatest idea. Maybe read it to yourself first. Anyway, so Chinese medicine in Australia, there's a few places you can study, right? There's not many now left. I know, it's only you and Crystal in the chat. That's fine. JL. Okay, so you can study at Endeavour College of Natural Health. They used to just be doing an acupuncture course, but they've just changed it to make it a herbal medicine and an acupuncture course. So I'm not going to say that any one degree is better than the other, because I actually think they're much of a muchness in terms of, at all of these colleges and unis that I'll mention, you all get you come out with the same thing, right? You come out with a piece of paper that allows you to register with AHPRA and practice. And I think the quality of your education is going to depend on several things. One is the kinds of teachers who are there, and that changes like the wind from all of these colleges, right? So, like, you can, for me, like, for instance, I'll sometimes teach some classes and then the next semester I don't teach that class. I don't always teach the same class. Now, some unis do them differently. There's also, in Sydney, there's Sydney Institute of Tech. So the Sydney Institute of Technology, I think they have finished their TCM course, right? There's the, what's that college that I think University of Western Sydney does a course. UTS, right? University of Technology Sydney. They used to run a course, but it's finished now. It's a real shame that uni's not doing it. RMIT in Melbourne is a place you can study it. I'm not sure in Queensland if there is any university doing it. There isn't a university in Perth doing it. I'm sure there's no university in South Australia doing it. And there's certainly nothing in the Northern Territory. I don't know why you'd want to go there. I don't know. Maybe you are there, so I'm sorry. I don't think there's any way you can study Chinese medicine in the Northern Territory. So I guess the difference between a private college and a university could be that you're getting, at Endeavour College and Sydney Institute of Technology, or SITCM, I think. Let me just quickly. Yeah, Sydney Institute of Traditional Chinese Medicine, SITCM. So they're a good school as well. Like, these are all properly recognised schools. Okay, Queensland, right? So I think your option might be only Endeavour College, but the good news is with Endeavour that they have now the herbal medicine course as well as the acupuncture degree. So you could study both, and I think that is a great way to do Chinese medicine. Do both of them if you can. Just bite the bullet and do both. It's hard, as in it's more work. But at the end of the day, even if it takes you 5 years instead of 4 years, you're going to come out with a better scope of being able to treat patients, because you can give them herbs and acupuncture. And then at that point, after the degree, you can decide, okay, now I'm going to study something else. I'm going to focus on Japanese style, or I'm going to, you don't have to study as in more years of study, but it could be as informal, but it could be like, oh, I'm going to do courses now in these other things, or follow other teachers as part of that. Because the thing is, you have to get the degree first. You have to get the piece of paper. You have to get that qualification. Otherwise, you can't register with AHPRA. In Australia, the registration with AHPRA is for protection of title, not protection of practice. So if you want to call yourself an acupuncturist and practice acupuncture or Chinese herbal medicine, either of those, and call yourself those titles freely, with no constraints on you in terms of the constraints of AHPRA, right? Which they're going to try to tell you things that you can and can't say, and they're very, that's a whole nother thing, right? Being registered. But if you want to do that, then you have to do the degree. You have to do the course, an approved course. Most of the courses now, I'm not sure about Sydney Institute of Technology. Maybe you could, if you're interested in moving to Sydney and studying with them, you should probably investigate their course maybe. They might have less focus on some things than others, or more focus on some things. So just from my experience of teaching over the years, the course in Chinese medicine has become more and more and more focused, well, not focused, but more, there's just more and more content on rules and regulations, Western medicine based things, not just like biosciences, but like academic study. And there's a lot of stuff on that. So you could actually be a very good student of Chinese medicine, but not be a very good practitioner of Chinese medicine. So you could pass all your courses, because like to actually see patients and to be good at Chinese medicine, you don't actually have to write an essay. It's a very strange, but there's no other way around this. So I'm not bagging out any courses, because they all have to do this because you're getting a degree. Now, one could argue, well, the process of getting a degree makes you a better person and a better human being, and you're academic, and now you're in an academic state. But there's so much to Chinese medicine that's like palpatory, and let's say, you need that experience with patients, like actually touching people, treating people, talking to people. How do you communicate with people? So look, it is a different world now in terms of with the virus happened to us. It is what it is. It's a little bit of a shame in some ways, because it means that there's less, because you have less face-to-face classes, there's less interactions in a general sense for people. And especially if you're a school leaver kind of aged person, or let's say you're 30 or under, you've had a different experience of life to someone who's older than that, who's had probably in their general interactions in life, they've had more experience and more need to have more communications on the phone in audible senses. And, like for instance, I hate texting, right? I'm 40. I don't like texting. I find it arduous. I'd rather just pick up the phone and have a conversation. Now, I know some people, I've had staff into my shop before that have been scared to call people and talk on the phone. And so these are all things that make you good at medicine, because you need to talk to your patients. You can't be scared to talk to people. So doing a 4-year degree, having all those interactions with other people in your class, having interactions in the student clinic with other people, that all teaches you how to interact with other human beings, so that by the time you graduate after the 4 years, hopefully you're somewhat good at talking to people, right? Like now I'm talking at the camera. I'm not talking. I'm imagining that you're there listening, because we're having this live interaction, which is so cool. Like, this is great. It's technology, right? But it's very different looking at somebody's eyes, like looking into their eyes and actually being able to eyeball them and talk to them and stuff. Thanks. I love my salt lamp. It's nice and warm. Anyway, so I don't know about any of these close encounters of the fifth kind. I don't know who that is. So I'm sorry. I'm not sure if you are about a troll or not, but I'm sorry. I don't know about that. Yep. It would be great to come to the land down under, but no one can come. No one can come now, and we basically can't leave. I live in Perth, Western Australia, and I can never leave. I can. Yeah, it's very strange here. It's strange times. I'm a real boy. You are a real boy. All right. So I hope that answers your question, Crystal, about the studying. So as far as I know, University of Western Sydney probably has a course still. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Queensland, I know Endeavour College has a Gold Coast campus and I think a Brisbane campus. So there's 2 places you can do it at there. And you'll come out of that college with a degree. The other thing that used to make me want to go to a uni, because I went to a private college, a small college, and I always wanted to go to a uni just so I could have that experience. I was like, I want to go to the tavern. I want to hang out on the campus. I mean, I don't know are people doing that these days? I don't know. But I kind of, in a way, I wanted that experience as part of my uni experience. Like, that was supposed to be my experience, going to parties and, and there was plenty of parties at the college. I went to, and they used to have crazy parties with these naturopath type of mixtures that they would mix up, and I don't know if alcohol was included in it, but there was like kava and kind of weird little things that would be in these soups, like these punch bowl things. So I remember that. And it was a great college that I went to, because it was it's closed down now. It's not running anymore, but it was there was a lot of community there, and you met people. And the thing about university and college should be that you're meeting, you're going to be your fellow practitioners. Like, I'm still best friends with one of the people I went to school with, right? Now, he wasn't in my class, because when I started my class in Chinese medicine, there was 12 people in it. And then when I graduated, only 2 of us graduated. But over those years, you meet third-year students, people come and go and whatnot. And one of the people I knew from college, I think he was a year behind me or something like that, maybe something like that. We're still good buddies now. We call up, once a week and just chat and how's things going, talk about Chinese medicine and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah. Oh, that's awesome. You had your first acupuncture session and you felt really relaxed afterwards. That's great. Yeah. It's a strange experience, isn't it? The very first time you have it. I still have plenty of patients that have never had it before, and they're kind of surprised. And what can happen is, after the second time you've had it, it can be quite different to the first time, because, like, most of the time you do feel something from the first treatment, but quite often you actually get more of a result from the second or more times you have it. So it's just a weird thing that, it's great that you felt relaxed, and that's good, but hopefully it'll get even better the more times you do it. Yeah, awesome. All right. Well, yep, that's great. I'm not going to click on people's comments without reading them. Does anyone else have a question that they'd like to ask? If you've just jumped on and you've missed the prize draw, we've done the prize draw. The prize winners for the course was Jody, Oscar, and Filippo. So, yep. Oh, that's lovely. You just found my channel and it's life-changing. That's awesome. That's good. I want to change people's lives. That's why I'm doing it. So if you have a question about Chinese medicine, sometimes as you're watching the videos and you're like, oh, this isn't fully answered, maybe there's more. Maybe someone else has had your question, but I also answer people's questions. And what happens is, if you have a question, then probably other people want to kind of ask that as well. So, you can ask it, and I'll try to answer it. And I'm also running this course that I'm running, so I'd love people to join in. There's lots of different price points and time frames that you can do it in. Thank you, Crystal. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Hello, Twin. Yeah. Awesome. So, yeah, if there is I basically jumped on here just to do the prize draw. But if anyone else has other questions, they can ask them. And otherwise, we'll probably finish it up. I'll let these people know that their dreams have come true. They've won the thing. I'll send them an email. Awesome. Cool. All right. Sounds good. Yeah, we're not answering. I don't know. Thank you for asking a legitimate question. Can you please explain the gallbladder in classical medicine? Okay, so Chinese medicine, TCM, and classical Chinese medicine have the same foundation. It's not like two completely different systems, right? But I guess there's a lot of things that TCM says the liver qi does, which are actually more gallbladder functions. So, yeah, I get what you're asking compared to TCM. So, lucky I've got my little whiteboard here. So, in the 5 elements, you have wood, I'm just going to make wood big because we're going to mostly talk about that. Right, we don't need to see the other circles, so I'll just put them there for you to sort of notice. So you have two parts to wood, right? You have the chi of wood, and you have the, we could say, well, the yin, let's say the yang and the yin. And so really the chi part is the yang. I'm not giving away a gallbladder. Not today. No, we don't get to organ donations here. That'd be a very strange prize draw. I just started answering people's questions after the prize draw. Someone asked about it. But yeah, so you have the chi of, so this is wood element, right? And then you could really think of that as blood. And this is the liver. And this is the gallbladder. So a lot of what TCM says is liver chi stagnation as a pattern is actually gallbladder chi stagnation. So in TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, they say, okay, these are the functions of the liver, right? One is that the liver stores blood, and the other one is that the liver moves chi. So we're saying that there's the wood of your body moves the chi, but it would probably be, in a classical Chinese medicine sense, more correct to place that movement of chi with the gallbladder, because the gallbladder is the yang aspect of the wood, not the yin aspect of the wood. So that, if that makes sense, that would probably be the biggest difference. So in TCM, the gallbladder does not much. Gallbladder isn't sort of, and that's the same for many yang organs, right? So most of these yang organs in the five elements, or in your body, they're mostly, well, they're all associated as hollow organs, which is kind of like movement of stuff through the digestive system. But your gallbladder is it's also called an extraordinary organ, which means it's a special. I've moved away from the microphone. Sorry, I think it probably might be a bit not close enough. It's a special organ because it stores something. It stores a substance. So it's not as hollow as some of the other organs are. Don't know if that really makes a big difference in classical Chinese medicine, but like one of the biggest differences in traditional Chinese medicine and classical Chinese medicine, in classical Chinese medicine, we tend to see yin and yang more than qi. So of course there's qi, but qi is like, yang is part of qi, as in qi is a yang substance. So you can say, and we more tend to think of things as in terms of the elements, right? These elemental functions are going on in the body. And to be honest, it really doesn't matter, because you're going to treat them the same way anyway. If someone had liver chi stagnation, they would have, so I think you've said, yeah. Okay, so we'll sort of come into that question in a second, because that's a good one. So if you have a pattern of liver chi stagnation in TCM, the symptoms are tightness around the hypochondrial area. So your diaphragm essentially is getting tighter and putting pressure into your chest. So you get this what's called chest depression, sighing sometimes, feeling, frustrated or angry, or sometimes getting, very angry, or that kind of stuff. A sense of a plum stone throat could sometimes be part of it. Feeling better with exercise versus someone who feels very tired from exercise. These are all yang things. So it means if I do exercise, I've moved some chi, I've moved that stagnant energy. I'm going to get some water. I've been talking all morning. Excuse me. And before I got on this stream, I was doing a class. So you've moved some stagnant energy because you've done exercise, so therefore you feel better, right? And so that's kind of more of an excess or a yang aspect problem. It's not a yin aspect problem. So in classical Chinese medicine, they're saying, well, though that function's still there. It is a wood function to move qi, right? This qi movement is this spreading. So a spreading, moving energy that kind of moves outwards. And that's the yang aspect of that. So the other answer to your question, you say you no longer have a gallbladder, but you've been diagnosed with chronic liver qi stagnation. So what does that mean? Well, everything in this system is metaphorical to a certain extent. So, right, you can the organs are not physically actually doing everything that Chinese medicine says they're doing. But if you had some organs removed, you certainly wouldn't be able to live. So, like, put it like this, like in Chinese medicine, they say your heart relates to your mind, your mental functions. If someone has a heart transplant, they don't change their mind, their whole mind doesn't change, right? Their whole thinking and who they are as a person doesn't change. You can't live without a heart, right? But all those functions are not necessarily attributed to that heart. Now, there's some organs that could be taken out and you could still live without them, like your gallbladder is a good example. Parts of your intestine could be taken out. You don't sort of lose the functionality of those things because it's a metaphorical system, and that's why the elements is a better way of explaining it than the organs. Because in our minds, when we say gallbladder, you think, oh, physically, where's my gallbladder? Here it is. This is what it's doing. Here's my liver. This is what it's doing. Everyone has a wood element. Everyone has an earth element. Everyone has a fire element, and it's thinking about, well, what are the elemental functions of what are those things doing in my body? And physiologically, like as in actually happening, some of those things are done by those organs, but some are not. Like, for instance, with the liver, one of the aspects of blood is your menstrual cycle. So it's not your uterus, though, but it's relating to the menstrual cycle. So physiologically, it governs a whole bunch of hormonal functions that your body has. This wood aspect, and that you can think of that as like the actual interrelationship between the yin and the yang. So cycles in your body, governing sleeping and waking, circadian rhythm, cycles, and all that sort of stuff. That's part of what your wood element does. There's no way you can be, they can take out your wood element. They can't take out your fire element. So it's better to think of them as the elements rather than just the organs. So one of the downfalls of TCM, it's not anything specific that I think they've done, but it's just like over time, what tends to happen is when you learn TCM in school, you learn, oh, here's the 5 elements as a separate thing. Here are the organs as a separate thing. Oh, they have a relationship to the elements. But then everything's been talked about after that is harped on the organs. And you forget, oh, yeah, that gallbladder. So you think, oh, that liver qi. You forget in a way, or unless you're reminding yourself constantly, that would. And it comes down to how you talk about it to your patients as well. So since I've been following a more classical path, when I tell patients this is what's going on with these things, I mostly talk about it in terms of the elements, because it is actually heaps easier to understand as a Westerner, because you don't have any preconceived idea. You've never heard of a wood element before. You're like, oh, what's this wood element? Whereas people have heard of a liver before, and if I say to them, you have liver qi stagnation, they're going to go, oh, do I need a new liver? Or if I said you have a kidney deficiency, people think, oh, have I got a kidney disease? No, it's your water element something's wrong with that, or your water element's weak or deficient, or you've got, wood. It's really wood element stagnation, wood qi stagnation, you could call it. So that's one way of thinking about it. So I hope that kind of answers it. Yeah, okay, I'll look into the Heart Math Institute. Sounds good. So I suppose if the gallbladder is there, no, it doesn't create qi stagnation. Like a person who has an organ removed, it doesn't necessarily do anything in Chinese medicine for some of the functions, not all the functions, but some of the functions. So your physical gallbladder isn't doing anything to do with moving qi. It's happening from other processes in your body. So probably hormonal processes, enzymes, digestion, like peristalsis, for instance, is a part of wood element functionality. So it's a way of Chinese medicine sort of whittling down or accumulating a whole massive amount of things into one thing. And something to always remember with Chinese medicine is it's metaphorical, not structural. And that might blow some people's minds and think, oh, and that means it's woo-woo. It's not. It's a different way of thinking about things. It's just different. So you could some things are structural that have to happen, right? Like in China, in TCM, they say here's the functions of the gallbladder. Like decision making is one of the functions of the gallbladder, and what else? Like the storage of bile and the excretion of bile. So yeah, if you physically don't have a gallbladder, it's not going to be able to excrete bile if it's not there. But do you suddenly lose all your ability to make decisions? Probably not. No, I don't think so. So that, I mean, there sometimes could be a coincidental thing like that, as in, or some patients may find that. I don't know if there's been any studies on people's ability to make decisions after their gallbladder's been taken out. That'd be an interesting study to look at. But that makes us think, well, that idea is a wood element idea. It's a wood element aspect, which relates to the springtime, which relates to creativity, doing new things, acting on those things, having the ability to decide something, like discern something, right? Like you're sort of differentiating between what should I do? And that relates, like life planning is a part of the wood element. So it's so much easier to kind of think of these things in terms of the elements. Oh, wow, I've been on here for 40 minutes. Okay, I came on to do a prize draw and I've been chatting away for 40 minutes. So good. Yes, I'm glad that makes sense. And that this is kind of one of the problems with Chinese medicine when you read it and you don't have anyone to explain it to you very well, and you're kind of like caught up in it can be super confusing. And even look, I remember in Chinese medicine school, I was probably confused for the majority of the classes for the first year and a half, like super confused. And then eventually you kind of learn and move on and to, understand. So I hope this has been useful to you and good and not welcome. Congratulations to the people who've won the prize. So it's my pleasure to have to give that away. And thank you so much for your support. If you're not a subscriber already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate people doing that. It's obviously lovely to see the channel growing. And yeah, I'll see you again on another video soon.